والسلام على سيد المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا وتجعل الحزن والصعب إلى ما شئت سهلا. اللهم آمين. Today, inshallah, thank you so much. Today, inshallah, we will be having a discussion or a workshop maybe about Hajj. And the reason why I want to change a little bit in the topic of tonight rather than going for tafsir is I just came from another workshop for Hajj. And I believe some of the congregation is going for Hajj this year. And those who are not going for Hajj, I know that some were intending to go to Hajj, but Allah did not, make it possible this year, some challenges. So this is inshallah a motivation for those who haven't done it and wanted to go and do it inshallah, and those who are going will be able to benefit. And what is good inshallah is that we will have this material available on YouTube and the website of the masjid, so that this is inshallah will make it available for everyone to benefit from inshallah. So if Allah Azza wa Jalla have chosen you already, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim wa salatu wa salam ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Allahumma la sahla ma ja'alta sahlan taj'al hazna wa as-sa'ba idha ma shi'ta sahlan. Allahumma ameen. So if Allah have chosen you to be from those who will be inshallah making their way to the old house of Allah, if you already have plans for Hajj, think of the legacy of being called by Allah. وَأَذِّن فِي النَّاسِ بِالْحَجِّ يَأْتُوكَ رِجَالًا وَعَلَى كُلِّ ضَامِرٍ يَأْتِينَ مِنْ كُلِّ فَجٍّ عَمِيقٍ ليشهدوا منافع لهم ويذكروا اسم الله في أيام معلومات على ما رزقهم من بهيمة الأنعام فكلوا منها وأطعموا البائس الفقير ثم ليقضوا تفثهم وليوفوا نذورهم وليطوفوا بالبيت العتيق ذلك ومن يعظم حرمات الله فهو خير له عند ربه. These are ayat from Surah Al-Hajj, which Allah Azza wa Jal says, to us when He addressed Ibrahim, وَأَذِّن فِي النَّاسِ بِالْحَجِّ, call upon people for Hajj. And they shall come to you from different parts of the world, on foot, on camels, different means of transportation. لِيَشْهَدُوا مَنَافِعَ لَهُمْ, to witness and benefit from منافع, benefits. فِي أَيَّامٍ مَعْدُودَاتٍ, to experience benefits in counted days. These counted days are the days of Hajj, which we will be inshallah coming to us in a short time. We're now in the Hijjah, Dhul Qa'dah, and soon inshallah we'll be having Dhul Hijjah. And Allah Azza wa Jal says, لِيَشْهَدُوا مَنَافِعَ لَهُمْ, benefits for them, benefits of the dunya and the akhirah, benefits of the deen. Because مَا مِنْ أَيَّامٍ الْعَمَلُ الصَّالِحِ فِيهِنَّ أَحَبُّ لِلَّهِ مِنْ هَذِهِ الْأَيَّامِ. No days of the whole year the good deeds are highly evaluated by Allah like the days of Dhul Hijjah, which are the days to come inshallah in a short time. So if Allah have chosen you to be from those who have responded to the call of Ibrahim, feel that legacy. Feel that legacy, because the Prophet ﷺ said, Al-Ghazi wal-Hajj wal-Mu'tamir wafdullah da'ahum fa'ajabuh wa sa'aluhu fa'a'tah. The Haji and the one who's going for Umrah and the one who goes in the path of Allah Azza wa Jal are all wafdullah, the guests of Allah. Allah called upon them and they responded to His call. And they have asked Him and He will be giving to them. So feel the legacy of being among those, what's the population of Earth nowadays? It's at 7.8, almost close to 8 billion people on Earth. Among them are 1.86 or 7 Muslims. From all the Muslims living on Earth, we have about 500 only will be honored and blessed to make it to the old house of Allah. So if you happen to be among them, feel that legacy. Thank Allah from the bottom of your heart. There are those from the Muslim Ummah who are unable to make Hajj for physical disabilities. They are unable financially, or physical disabilities, or for restrictions in getting a Hajj visa because of the age limits as we have it in certain countries. So if you are among those whom Allah have made it possible and easy, then be aware that this is a chance that everyone is crying day and night to be able to make it. And keep in mind, you're the guest of Allah. And whatever you will ask Allah for, Allah inshallah will grant it for you. Because in the standard of the dunya, if we go visit someone and ask for a need, we will be giving that need, because as a human being, I will not be rejecting or turning someone who come to visit my home. So you're going to the house of Allah Azza wa Jal, the most generous, the most merciful, the Kareem, the Hayy, the Qayyum. So think about that as you are moving into this journey. Now, the Prophet ﷺ said, لا تشد الرحال إلا إلى ثلاثة مساجد. The traveling should not be done except for 3 masjids: Al-Masjid al-Haram, and the Masjid of the Prophet ﷺ, and Al-Masjid al-Aqsa, for the purpose of ibadah and and establishing the worshiping to Allah Azza wa Jal. Can we go to the next slide? Maybe we can ask Nafis, you want to sit there? Hasib?
Yeah.
There will be among a few in the Muslim Ummah who will be honored to make it for the purpose of ibadah, traveling thousands of miles to be able to experience this magnificent gift and barakah from Allah Azza wa Jal. Keep in mind that the rewards of Hajj and Umrah are numerous. Al-Umrah إلى العمرة كفار لما بينهما والحج المبرور لا جزاء له إلا الجنة. Umrah to Umrah cleanse whatever comes between them, and there is no reward for Al-Hajj al-Mabrur except Al-Jannah. There is no reward. The Prophet ﷺ is saying, except that you inshallah will be getting Al-Jannah. So what's Al-Hajj al-Mabrur, by the way, in a quicker note? Al-Hajj al-Mabrur is فَلَمْ يَرْفُثْ وَلَمْ يَفْسُقْ رَجَعَ كَيَوْمَ وَلَدْتُهُ أُمُّهُ. The Prophet ﷺ indicated that whoever go to Hajj, لَمْ يَرْفُثْ وَلَمْ يَفْسُقْ, would not give in do vain talk and do things that would not be appropriate within the Hajj, then will come back as if he is born the moment. Which means in nowadays standard for Hajj, we do not have appropriate understanding for what Hajj is all about. We want 5-star Hajj. We want everything easy. We got used to the North American lifestyle. If things went wrong, I need to complain to the manager, and I should be getting back, in return, double the service and more, much better service. Or if I'm not content and happy, I need to get my money back. This is not what Hajj is all about. Hajj is about struggling. The Prophet ﷺ indicated that the more you struggle in Hajj, the more you spend in Hajj, the more you will gain in rewards from Allah Azza wa Jalla. So keep in your mind that this is the Hajj of struggle. This is the journey of struggle in your life. If you are expecting your Hajj to be cozy and come back again with 20 pounds extra on your of weight, then you are not doing the Hajj that should be done. Think of how the Sahaba and how the Prophet ﷺ himself traveled from Mecca to Medina in the desert, and how much he endured of difficulties and challenges under the sun. And in the old times, when people used to go to Hajj, they would say goodbye to people around them, not expecting to see them once again. Now we, alhamdulillah, have everything facilitated to us, with the security and the comfort and the technology. Everything is made easy. But keep in mind, there will be tests for you in Hajj. You will be confronted. You will be coming across people who will do things that aggravates you. You coming from certain this comfortable lifestyle, expected things to go easy, but that's not going to be the case there, because in Hajj there are on average about 5 million people come from different cultural background, speak different languages, and they have different attitude. So chances there will be clashes. So the more patience you will have, the more sabr and ihtisab you will have, the more rewards you will be gaining. Your sabr will be tested, and keep that in mind. Do not nullify your Hajj by getting angry and say, how dare they? Why was this happening to me? I paid this much of money. Keep in mind that this is the journey of struggling to Allah Azza wa Jalla. This is the journey. If we go to the next slide, the Prophet ﷺ indicated that the rewards of praying in the Masjid al-Haram equal to 100,000 than any other masjids. Meaning to say that all the good deeds, as the scholars indicated, you will do during your journey of Hajj or Umrah will be, inshallah, multiplied to you by 100,000. If we have in time at the end, I'll present for you a schedule of what will be more beneficial. How can you maximize the benefit of going to the old house of Allah Azza wa Jalla? The most beautiful and rewarding spot on earth for ibadah is Mecca, Al-Bayt al-Haram. And the most rewarding time will be during the Hajj time is the Ashra Dhul Hijjah, the first 10 days of Dhul Hijjah. So you're about to experience the best of the best. And if Allah Azza wa Jalla blessed you to be able to make it, inshallah, may Allah make it easy for you to be able to maximize your benefit and rewards from the Hajj. Salah, it will be multiplied by 100,000. Sadaqah will be multiplied by 100,000. Any good deed in general will be, inshallah, multiplied for you by 100,000. So this is the journey of dua, in another word, because as you will see, inshallah, from the first day, this is from the first minute of traveling, you will find that dua is an important component of this journey. The Prophet ﷺ indicated once that ad-du'a huwa al-ibadah. Dua is indeed the ibadah itself. And then the Prophet ﷺ recited, وَقَالَ رَبُّكُمْ اُدْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَسْتَكْبِرُونَ عَنْ عِبَادَتِي سَيَدْخُلُونَ جَهَنَّمَ دَاخِرِينَ. Those who abstain from dua, making dua to me, they will go to the hellfire, وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. This is how important the dua is. And you will find that from the first minute you intend to go to Hajj, with every step you walk, you will hear hasana, and a sayyah will be raised to you. From the minute you intend you travel and leave your home, you are musafir, and the dua of the musafir is accepted. And as you will see, inshallah, when you arrive to Mecca, all the actions you will be engaged will make your dua ultimately accepted by Allah Azza wa Jalla. Now let's talk about the different types of Hajj. There are different types of Hajj. There is Al-Hajj al-Mutamatti', meaning to say you will be going first for Umrah, and then after you finish your Umrah, you will be doing Hajj. So when you intend to do your niyyah for Hajj, you say labbaik Allahumma Umrah as you're going to Mecca, and you will finish the Umrah, and then you go to the Hajj. And the second type of Hajj is Hajj al-Ifrad. This is the Hajj in which you will be only doing Hajj and no Umrah. And I think we missed one slide before you, Sheikh, so if you could go back. Hajj al-Qiran. Hajj al-Qiran is the Hajj in which you intend to do Hajj, Umrah and Hajj together. So you will be doing Umrah, labbaik Allahumma Umratan wa Hajj. You will be combining the Hajj and Umrah together in the same journey. And the difference between it and al-Mutamatti' is that you will not be able to exit from the state of Ihram after your Umrah, but rather you will continue from the state of Ihram, from the minute you declare your niyyah, all the way to the end of the ritual of the Hajj. Now if we go to the next slide, the Al-Hajj Al-Ifrad, which is going only for Hajj. And we will talk about the difference between the three types of Hajj and how the process of doing Hajj is done. So if we go to the next slide, if you are intending to do Hajj, there is a beautiful dua you can add beside on your niyyah. When you say labbaik Allahumma Umrah or labbaik Allahumma Hajj, you say فَإِنْ حَبَسَنِي حَابِسْ فَمَحِلِّي حَيْثُ حَبَسْتَنِي. Meaning to say, Ya Rabbi, if I am, in my journey of Hajj was abstracted and was not able to make it all the way to my Hajj, then I am at where my obstacle have stopped me. And this, with adding this part of to the dua, you will be saved from doing al-hadi, because فَمَنْ تَمَتَّعَ بِالْعُمْرَةِ الْحَجِّ فَمَا اسْتَيْسَرَ مِنَ الْهَدِيِ. And in the same ayah, Allah says, if you are not able to you are abstracted and not able to do certain nusuk from your Hajj, then فَمَا اسْتَيْسَرَ مِنَ الْهَدِيِ, then you slaughter an animal as a sacrifice. So this is will be وَأَتِمُّوا الْحَجَّ وَالْعُمْرَةَ لِلَّهِ فَإِنْ أُحْصِرْتُمْ فَمَا اسْتَيْسَرَ مِنَ الْهَدِيِ. If you were abstracted, you're distracted from continuing in the journey, then from a station whatever you offer, an animal slaughtering. So what are the arkan of Hajj? There are pillars for the Hajj, just like in Salah there are pillars of the Hajj, and we will see inshallah what are the arkan of Hajj. Arkan al-Hajj are four basic pillars. The first one is al-Ihram, which is make the niyyah for going to Hajj. And second, tawaf hawl al-bayt, and this is referred to tawaf al-ifada. And then as-sa'i bayna as-safa wal-marwa, and al-wuquf bi-Arafah, standing on the mountain of Arafah. If you do not fulfill all those four basic pillars of the Hajj, then your Hajj is not accepted. It's basically nullified. It's not accepted. Now we will go to the next slide, which is, you go to the next one. Wajibat al-Hajj. Now, Wajibat al-Hajj, al-Ihram min al-Miqat. We will inshallah explain what is the Miqat. The Miqat is the location in which you need to declare your Ihram, your niyyah for Hajj or for Umrah, that has to be done. Prophet ﷺ specified the locations of Miqat or Ihram around the Arabian Peninsula for all people coming from different directions. So when you inshallah will be going to Umrah or Hajj in the airplane, you will be told you are now in the Miqat, and this is the time for you to declare your Hajj. So doing declaring your Ihram in the Miqat is from the wajibat of Hajj. And Wuquf bi-Arafah until the sunset. Wuquf al-Arafah is wajib, but until the sunset is also from the wajibat, until the sun, and the day is over. And then sleeping in Muzdalifah إلى ما بعد منتصف الليل, until after passing the midnight, because those after the passing the midnight, there are a certain group of people who are exempted from staying in Muzdalifah. We'll come to explain that. And then Rami al-Jamarat, throwing the stones, and then Halq, go back a little bit, Halq or Taqsir, shaving or cutting your hair, and al-Mabit Mina layal al-Tashriq, sleeping in Mina for the days of Tashriq. We will come to explain that, and Tawaf al-Wada', the farewell Tawaf. Now, what happened if you missed any of those seven wajibat, obligatory actions in Hajj? If you missed any one of them with, for whatever reason, challenges that have come upon you, then to compensate that, you need to slaughter an animal, and inshallah your Hajj will be accepted. So if you happen to miss, the miqat, or not being able to do one of those seven pillars, obligatory actions, then the way to compensate, not being able to do this for whatever challenge that encounters you, then will be to slaughter an animal. So let's go to the next slide. Arkan al-Umrah now, because some of us will be doing Umrah and Hajj, because mutamatti' normally, most of the people who go to Hajj, and this is what the Prophet ﷺ encouraged the Sahaba to do Hajj mutamatti', meaning to say to do Umrah first and then to do after that the Hajj. So the Arkan, the pillars of Umrah are two: Al-Ihram, to declare the niyyah for the Umrah, and Tawaf Hawl al-Bayt, and the Sa'i. Three things: to do the Tawaf, and then to do the Sa'i, commuting between Safa and Marwa. And then let's see the wajibat of al-Umrah. Wajibat al-Umrah are first al-Ihram al-Miqat, to declare your niyyah from the location of Miqat, and to do al-Halq or Taqsir, or to shave or to trim your hair. So those are from the wajibat. Now let's move to the next slide. Now a question comes here: what if someone passed the miqat? Now if this person إن كان مريدا للحج والعمرة فحينئذ يلزمه أن يرجع إليه ليحرم ما أراد من النسك. So if a person have missed doing the miqat in the location where he specified to, he forgot, or he slipped over, and he was not able to do it. If he's able to go back and do the ihram in the miqat, then it would be better. But if he's unable to, for instance, you're in the airplane, you are sleeping, you woke up, all of a sudden you're already, and everybody have declared their umrah, and you missed it. So in this case, to compensate this, then you need to do a slaughtering of an animal that will be, inshallah, giving to the poor people in Mecca. What are the things that you need to do in the miqat? Let's say if you in the miqat, those who are traveling by land, they will be able to stop at the miqat. And like for instance, if you're going to Medina first and then you're going to Mecca, there's a miqat called Abar Ali, a location where they have a huge mosque with a facility where you can go there and get yourself ready for the Umrah. So the things that the one who's intending to do Hajj or Umrah are expected to do when they're about to do the Ihram is to cut their nails, قص الأظافر والشوارب وتنظيف الإبط, clean yourself from the extra hair you have in your body, and to cut your nails, which is the things that we do normally to clean ourselves, whether in Jum'ah or other days of the year, and then to strip yourself, take off all the clothing, the stitched clothing, and be ready to wear the ihram, and also to take a ghusl, a shower for the ihram. The ghusl is sunnah even for the sisters who are not praying. Those who are even not praying, they need to take a shower so that they are ready for the step, the next step, and be engaged into the sha'air of Umrah and Hajj. Now, if we go to the next slide, after you trim your hair or cut your hair and nails, and take off your stitched clothes and take a shower, you can also perfume. Because the Prophet ﷺ, Aisha radiallahu anha, perfumed the Prophet ﷺ when he was intending to do the ihram, and then after that, when you are physically ready for your state of ihram, you declare your ihram by labbaik Allahumma hajjan or umrah after a salah, whether it is a salah farida or sunnatul wudu. Many people say, I'm going to pray 2 ruk'ah of sunnat al-ihram. There is no 2 ruk'ah for sunnat al-ihram. But if you happen to be in salah, you finish yourself al-dhuhr or salat al-asr or isha or whatever salah you're offering, and you want to, after that you declare the niyyah for ihram, or you could pray 2 ruk'ah of sunnatul wudu. If you happen to go to the miqat or you're in the airplane, you do a wudu, you prepare yourself, and do a wudu, and pray 2 ruk'ah of sunnah wudu, and after that you declare the niyyah for the ihram. So if we go to the next slide, what are the things that the muhrim are unable to do? So what are the things that the muhrim should not be doing? First of all, they're not supposed to trim the hair or to take any hair from their body, and that's why to be careful if you're scratching your head or if you're taking a shower, you need to take a shower. Make sure you do it in a gentle way that would not make you lose any of your hair. Now, when you look into these things, Allah wants us during the journey of Umrah and Hajj to be trained. يا أيها الذين آمنوا ليبلونكم الله بشيء من الصيد تنالوا رماحكم وأيديكم. Allah Azza wa Jal, Surah Al-Ma'idah says that, "Oh, you will believe, we will be testing you by sayd, by animals that within the reach of your arm and your spears." So Allah wants to see, this is a kind of quote-unquote boot camp style, ibadah. Allah wants us to glorify sha'air Allah and hurumatillah. Simple things that we might not think that are a big of a deal, they are during this ritual of Hajj are haram. Khalas. We need to glorify him. So when we come back again to the normal life, we have we are more aware and mindful about the hurumat. We don't cross them, and also we gratify the sha'air, the ibadat to Allah Azza wa Jal, because they are so important to us, and then we will be more aware of them after this the ritual of Hajj. So basically, you're not allowed to cover your hair, cover your head, trim your hair, or clip your nails, or using perfume after that. Even if you want to wash your hands with soap, preferably to use soap that has incense and that has not smelling. And not to wear gloves, and especially even for the sisters. The sisters are not allowed to wear gloves in their state of ihram, but they can wear whatever normal clothes they would like that cover their body. But in the state of ihram, there are certain conditions that you need to be mindful and aware of during that. So let's see that in the next slide. What if someone, for whatever reason, missed or violated these codes during the state of ihram? Then they come to compensate, your ihram. If you did something that is not acceptable, then would be either صيام ثلاثة أيام, to fast 3 days, or إطعام ستة مساكين, to feed 6 people, or to slaughter an animal during, and feed it to the people of Mecca. So let's go to the next slide. Now this is, basically to those who, are with their, like the couple who go to Hajj, and they're, during the state of Ihram, you're not allowed to intimate, and if you do the intimacy during Hajj, then there's a big violation that would require from you. It would spoil basically your nusuk, and then you're expected to do it once again, or it will nullify your Hajj, and will you be able to do it, it would spoil the nusuk you are engaged in, and so you need to do it the following year. So basically, again, avoid all those mahdurat and try to stay away from them, because this is the whole idea of doing Hajj. So let's go to the next slide after that, the following one. A'mal Hajj wal Umrah. What are the actions of Hajj and Umrah? This is the core of the presentation. The first one is, let's go to the next one. الإحرام إعلان نية الأداء للفريضة، ويتم لفظها بقول لبيك اللهم حجا، وبمجرد نطقها تحرم عليه جميع محظورات الإحرام، وبعد ذلك يرفع الرجل صوته بالتلبية وتخفض المرأة ويسن الإكثار من التلبية. The minute you start تلبية لبيك اللهم حج لبيك اللهم عمرة, then you declare لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك. This is what you should be doing all the way in your journey from the miqat, if you are mu'tamir, until you reach the Kaaba, and you stop the declaration, the talbiyah, and you proceed with the rest of the actions of Umrah. Or if you are in Hajj, then you stop the talbiyah when you throw the jamarat on the first day, or on the day of Eid. So then let's go to the next slide. Now the talbiyah, as we said again, in different types of Hajj. If you are mutamatt'i', then you say labbaik Allahumma umrah. If you are mufridan, then you say labbaik Allahumma hajjan. And if you are muqrin, then you say labbaik Allahumma hajjan wa umrah or hajj. And then you start after that doing the talbiyah and in a loud voice if possible, and for the sisters in a soft voice, so that they will not be heard by others around them. Let's go to the next one. So this is basically al-ihram. As you can see, in the state of ihram, we wear 2 shrouds, and in the map you can see, and I think it's not very clear, but there are different locations on the map from people coming from different parts around Mecca. So this is the line where they need to be mindful and aware of when they declare the state of ihram. So basically 2 shrouds, one to cover the lower part of the body, and the other one is to cover the upper part of the body. Let's go to the next slide. التلبية لبيك اللهم لبيك, which is, we said, we continue with it بعد الإحرام مباشرة وحتى رمي جمرة العقبة الكبرى يوم العيد الأضحى. This is for the one who is intending to do Hajj. It starts from the minute you declare your niyyah. Let's say on the 8th day of the Hajj, as we'll come to explain, you continue with talbiyah until you throw the Jamrat al-Aqabah al-Kubra, until you throw the Jamrah on the first day of Eid. Let's go to the next one. Tawaf al-Qudum. Tawaf al-Qudum is basically the first tawaf you do, whether you're doing Umrah or you're doing other types of Hajj. So let's say here now, for the person who's doing Hajj mufrid only, he's doing mufrid or muqrin, both Umrah and Hajj together, combined without tamattu, or doing Hajj that is by itself. The first tawaf, which is tawaf al-Qudum. Qudum means arrival. So you do the first tawaf, and then you do sa'i, and this will count for you as your tawaf al-Hajj and al-Umrah if you are muqrin, or tawaf al-Hajj and sa'i al-Hajj for you if you are mufrid. And now for the person who's doing Umrah first, the tawaf they do will count for them as tawaf al-Umrah. Let's go to the next slide. Now let's talk about the actions of Hajj, of Umrah, because this is what will be done most of the time. Let's go to the next slide quickly. So when you, that's fine, go back a little bit. So this is, you're ready to do the Umrah. In Umrah, there is sunnah called al-Tabattu', al-Diba', which is to expose your right shoulder, and al-Ramil, which is to walk fast, faster than walking and slower than running. Nowadays, it's almost impossible to do because of the crowdness. But if you are happen to do your tawaf in the second or third floor, there might be a chance for you to do that. So the first three shall you do a tawaddu' and then you proceed. Let's go to the next slide. Now, when you first when you first arrive from to Mecca and you enter the Haram, the first moment you lay your eyes on the Kaaba, your dua is accepted.
Allah.
Take your time. I've seen people crying, crying because they can't believe that they are finally standing in front of the Kaaba. They are finally in Umrah. They're finally coming to do the Hajj. Ya Rabbi, I can't thank you enough for making me from those who were honored to be your guests. Ya Rabbi, I can't thank you enough for giving me this chance to be, visiting your old house. Take your time, no rush. You've traveled thousands of miles. You've paid, thousands of dollars. Take your time to enjoy this Umrah. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Tamatta'u bihadha al-bayt." Enjoy this house before it's gone, because it was destroyed twice, and then at the end of time will be destroyed as a sign of the end of the line, Qiyam al-Sa'ah. So this is a gift from Allah Azza wa Jal. Enjoy it. So take your time. Your dua is accepted. When you are finished, when you cry enough, when you say, pour all your feelings out to Allah Azza wa Jal, and when you feel that you have done what you needed to, you have been looking forward and and waiting for, then after that you proceed inside. If you're able to go inside the Kaaba, the Sahih they call it, then alhamdulillah. You proceed to the Al-Hajar al-Aswad. If you go to the next slide quickly, this is Al-Hajar al-Aswad. Let's go back again. If you're able to go to the Hajar al-Aswad, alhamdulillah. If not, because of the crowd, don't push for it. Touching the Hajar al-Aswad or kissing the Hajar al-Aswad is sunnah, but being aware and mindful and respectful to people around you is fard. So do not compromise a fard for sunnah. So when you come, you will see that, when you see that corner where it says, where the spot in, this is Al-Hajar al-Aswad. Cross from Al-Hajar al-Aswad, there is a green light. You will see it, to those who have gone to Umrah, you will see green light immediately, in front of that corner of Hajar al-Aswad. When you walk with the crowd, you reach that corner, then you make your left side towards the Kaaba and you raise your hand and say, Bismika Allahumma, Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu imanu bika, wa tasdiqan bi kitabika, wa ittiba'an sunnat nabika Muhammadin sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. If you know this dua, alhamdulillah. If not, then say Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, and do it fast, because there is no need for you to stop. If you stop, think of the hundreds who are trying to make the tawaf and pushing behind you, and you're distracting them. So there's no need for you to stop. Just say Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, Allahumma bika tasdiqan bi kitabika wa ittiba'an sunnat nabika Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and you proceed. Now, when you go around the Kaaba, this is Al-Hajj al-Aswad. You literally anywhere in here or the second floor or third floor, you start, Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, and you go after that in the journey of Tawaf. Now, this here is part of the Kaaba. When Quraysh reconstructed the Kaaba, they did not have enough money to be able to fully construct it the way that Ibrahim constructed. So they used whatever money they have and they made it a little short. So this is part of the Kaaba. Do not take a shortcut and go inside to make a quick tawaf. No, but rather you need to go normal full circle around the Kaaba. In your tawaf around the Kaaba, what you need to do? Basically, in your tawaf in the Kaaba, do whatever dhikr and ibadah you can do. Whether it is reading Quran, whether it is istighfar, whether it is salat ala nabi, whether it is tasbih, whether it is tahmeed, whether it is dua. When you are doing your tawaf around the Kaaba, you are doing tawaf along with the malaika who are doing tawaf in the Bayt al-Ma'mur. There's a Kaaba in the sky, and their malaika go do their tawaf, and they depart and never come back again until the day of judgment. وَمَا يَعْلَمُ جُنُودَ رَبِّكَ إِلَّا هُ. So feel the legacy. You are now doing tawaf similar to the malaika who are doing tawaf around the Bayt al-Ma'mur. If the Bayt al-Ma'mur, by the way, were to fall down on the earth, it would fall on the top of the Kaaba. You're doing tawaf with the malaika, and you're walking on the earth where the Prophet ﷺ used to walk, along with the Sahaba. You can remember the stories the Prophet ﷺ had to go through when he was, doing his salah around the Kaaba, and he was hurt by the kuffar. And when he was leaning by the Kaaba, and Khabbab ibn Arat came to him, Ya Rasulullah, ala tastansir lana, ala tad'u lana, Ya Allah, Ya Rasulullah, don't you ask Allah for our victory, for make a dua for us. And the Prophet said he was angry and said to him, إِنَّكُمْ قَوْمٌ تَسْتَعْجِلُونَ. You're people who are, hasting and rushing. And Khabbab ibn Arat, when he came to pray the Prophet his back had no flesh, because the kuffar dragged him on the fire until his bones were exposed in his back. You're now doing tawaf, and the only struggle you have is the crowdness and the heat of the sun. If you're doing this in the daytime, this is the only struggle. The Sahaba, when they were doing their ibadah around the Kaaba, they were fearful on their life. So think of all that as you're making your tawaf. All the prophets of Allah have gone to Hajj. The Prophet told us about Isa alayhi salam and about Musa alayhi salam, who have done their Hajj. So you are being honored to do the ibadah that the prophets of Allah have done. The Sahaba have done. Chances you will be, walking on the same spot the Prophet walked. The Sahaba have walked. Abu Bakr, Umar, radiallahu anhu, all the prophets of Allah from before. So let's go to the next slide, and the one after it quickly. I don't know, go back a little bit. Once you make almost a full circle, this is Al-Hajj al-Aswad. Before you reach the Hajj al-Aswad here, Al-Rukn al-Yamani. Between Al-Rukn al-Yamani and Al-Hajj al-Aswad here, there is a special dua you make, which is Allahumma atina fi dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina adhab an-nar. As I said again, tawaf is a chance for you to be in the house of Allah. You look at the Kaaba and say, Ya Rab, ma arhamak, ma a'zamak. Wow, I am now in your house. Ya Rabbi, my life is this. Ya Rabbi, my children. Ya Rabbi, my wife. Ya Rabbi, my business. Ya Rabbi, Ya Rabbi, Ya Rabbi. Talk, cry as much as possible. Be focused on everything. You will be distracted with so many people as said around you who are doing things that, out of good intentions that might be, not pleasant. But stay focused on your ibadah. Keep in mind that Allah sends down 120 rahmah every day to the haram. 60 are given to the ta'ifin. This is the only ibadah that could be done on earth around the Kaaba. You cannot do it anywhere else. Salah could be done in the airplane, in the space. Anywhere else you can do siyam, salah, istighfar, but tawaf is only done in the Kaaba. 40 are giving to the musalleen, and 20 are giving to those who are only watching the Kaaba. Keep that in mind as you're doing your tawaf. Ask Allah for everything you want. Cry. Let the tears come from your eyes. Let you be throwing yourself between the hands of Allah Azza wa Jal. So once you finish from the Rukn al-Yamani, if you're able to touch Rukn al-Yamani, touching only, there's nothing else, no kissing, alhamdulillah. If not, then proceed until you come here once again, and this is considered one shelf, one circle. It's my advice, have something in your hand to help you count, whether it is a masbaha, a short subha, or a ring. Put it in your finger, every time you finish a tawaf until you finish. If you were in doubt that I do make 6 or 7, then make them 6 and do another one 7, so you are ensured that you go for the list, counting, not the higher counting, as you do normally in salah. Now let's go to the next slide. After you finish from the tawaf, you pray 2 rak'ah behind the post of Ibrahim. This is the post of Ibrahim. Nowadays it's decorated with golden, cover and all the details. There is nothing significant about the post of Ibrahim. People come and touch it, and they want to kiss it. There is nothing significant about it. If you're able to pray behind it, which is very difficult, do so. If not, anywhere in the haram, literally would be sufficient for you to pray 2 short rak'ah. In the first rak'ah you pray, Qul ya ayyuhal kafirun, and the second rak'ah Qul huwallahu ahad, declaring you're against any association to any entity against Allah Azza wa Jal, and you are surrendering and submitting to the will of Allah Azza wa Jal. Qul huwallahu ahad. You pray 2 rak'ah. Let's go to the next slide. Just want to show you what's the post of Ibrahim. This is what the post of Ibrahim looks like, because chances It's going to be very crowded and not be able to see it clearly. Let's go another slide. And this is what's inside it. The footsteps of Ibrahim alayhi salam. They're covered with gold or silver thing. So, just basically, just to commemorate Ibrahim alayhi salam and to make it a post where people can pray to Ruk'ah. وَاتَّخِذُوا مِن مَقَامِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ مُصَلَّى. Let's go to the next slide quickly. Now, this is the door of the Kaaba, by the way. Is there any significance for making dua in the door of the Kaaba? No, nothing. People are pushing and fighting and wanted to go to the door of Kaaba. There is nothing that I'm aware of that would make your dua is accepted, or any significance to making standing under the door of the Kaaba. However, whatever I have it's been reported, and I did not come across an authentic dua hadith about that, is between the Hajj al-Aswad, which is there, and the door of the Kaaba. It's about half a meter. Half a meter, between the door of the Kaaba and the Hajj al-Aswad. Very small area, about half a meter. This is called al-Multazam. If you are able to come close to that location and allow your chest to touch the door of the wall of the Kaaba and make dua, then your dua is accepted. Chances, if you're able to make it from the crowd, someone will be tapping behind your back and asking you to move it quickly. So if you're able to come close to that area, take advantage of that, make dua, and try to not be distracting to others around you and not to be distracted by others. Because the whole idea of doing dua is to be engaged, to be with Allah Azza wa Jal. And people miss that. They think that I'm in this location, my dua is accepted. Well, that's true, but you need to fulfill the adab of dua. You need to talk to Allah. There's adab for talking to Allah. Fighting and pushing and shoveling, this is not going to make your dua accepted. So make sure and keep that in mind about this, inshallah. Let's go to the next slide quickly. Now we go after, we do the tawaf, the 2 ruk'ah. We pray behind the post of Ibrahim. After you finish the 2 ruk'ah, by the way, you stand and look at the Kaaba. And make dua, intensive dua, as long as you want. With as much tears as you can, because your dua is accepted. Imagine now, everything I say, dua is accepted, because this is the journey of dua. After you finish from your dua, after the 2 ruk'ah you prayed behind the post of Ibrahim, you go to Zamzam. Now Zamzam, the image we have for us, because we heard the seerah, is a gushing water from a spring. But basically, it is actually rather nowadays are containers that will be available for us to drink, which is alhamdulillah, make it much easier for people to be able to find Zamzam everywhere. So you take Zamzam and you drink as much as possible, and you feel the water is going to come out. Now, drinking Zamzam, as the Prophet said, Zamzam lima shuriba lahu. With the intention you have it for drinking Zamzam, whether it is shifa, whether it is knowledge, whether it is rahmah in the akhirah, whatever you make your dua for, your dua is accepted when you drink Zamzam. So make the niyyah and drink with the niyyah that Allah will give you the best of the dunya and the akhirah. So let's go quickly, inshallah, the next slide. When you're finished from drinking Zamzam and making your dua, you proceed to Safa and Al-Marwa. Safa and Marwa, basically 2 posts that Hajar alayhi salam commuted between when she was in the situation we're all aware of, when she was desperate and and Ismail was crying in all the details. Now, when you proceed to the let's go to the next one quickly. When you proceed to the as you're proceeding to the Safa, when you finish from Zamzam, by the way, from praying to Turkah behind the post of Ibrahim, you'll see signs a sa'i from there. Alhamdulillah, everything is organized, by the way, very well in the Haram. You proceed to the sa'i and you start your commuting with Safa and Marwa, and you recite the ayah, إن الصفا والمروة من شعائر الله فمن حج البيت واعتمر فلا جناح عليه الطواف بهما ومن تطوع خيرا فإن الله شاكر عليم. And then when you are on the mountain or the post of As-Safa, you say لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك له الحمد وهو على كل شيء قدير لا إله إلا الله وحده أنجز وعده ونصر عبده وهزم الأحزاب وحده. You repeat this 3 times and then you make dua. You make dua and remember what Hajar had gone through. Remember how her dua was accepted in a very difficult situation. And this is what you need to live in. You will be exhausted. You will be, it's too hot, it's too crowded, and you're, feel all this and contrast it with what Hajar alayhi salam had to go. Now there are literally, hundreds or thousands of people around you. But when she was doing her sa'i, commuting, she was by herself. She was afraid. She was concerned. And she was hungry. She was thirsty. And as a result of what she was patient on, she was commemorated until the Day of Judgment.
Allah.
We're just doing nothing but to copy what Hajj alayhi salam have done. Keep that in mind as you're doing your commuting between the Safa and Marwa. Nothing special about, to say in there, Qur'an, istighfar, salah, dua, as you remember Hajj alayhi salam. Now, there are, if you go back, words a little bit, 2 slides. Can you go back one? There. Here, no, just to the Safa and Marwa. Sa'i, one more. Go back, go forward. Here. Here. These 2 lines, when you aswak, there's the green line on the top. Those are when Hajj used to run. So if you're able to run to the best of your ability, so that you're copying Hajj, fully with all her actions. Let's go, inshallah. Once you finish the 7 commutes between the Safa and Marwa, then after that you do your tahallul. Tahallul by either trimming your hair. Can you go back? Trimming your hair or shaving. Now in Umrah, or if you're going for Umrah, you can shave. No problem, alhamdulillah. But if you're now going for Hajj and Umrah, leave something from your head. If you have a haircut, and it's best if you've done it in the barber shop, so that your haircut is from all the sides of your head, and then after that you are exiting from the state of Ihram. So alhamdulillah, your Umrah is completed. Now what you need to do, you go back, shower and prepare yourself, wear your normal clothes, and you spend the time. Let's spend the time to get ready for Hajj. And Hajj will start on the 8th day of the Hijjah. Let's go quickly, inshallah. The 8th day of the Hijjah is called Yawm al-Tarwiyah, is when we go to Mina. We go quickly to the next slide. And this is, a diagram for the Hajj and Mina. So this is the Masjid al-Haram. You go to the camp of Mina. This is by the Jamarat. And this is, the camp of Mina. You will go there on the 8th day in the morning. You stay there, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha. You shorten the Salah without combining, preparing yourself to be ready for the following day, which is the day of Hajj, Yawm Arafah. This is the mountain of Arafah. You proceed there, and on the, now this is, quickly inshallah, this is the mountain of Arafah, and this is Muzdalifah. This is just another diagram to explain, the demographic of the locations in Hajj. Can you proceed quickly? This is Mina. This is, from a distance, what the camp of Mina look like. I don't know how many hundreds or thousands of tents are there, but people will be staying there for the day. And this is what the tents look like. They're, very basic tents. Don't expect yourself to be sitting in a comfortable, luxurious, things. And I prefer that, we go through hardships in this, so that we're able to experience more difficulties and more rewards from Allah Azza wa Jal. The more we stagger, the more we through. So then the 9th day of the Hijjah is the following day after the 8th, is the day of Arafah. And Al-Hajj Arafah. You go there after the sunrise from Mina to Arafah, and then you stay there until the sun set. So basically, as I said, Al-Hajj Arafah. No, go one more. And the Prophet ﷺ said, خير الدعاء دعاء عرفة وخير ما قلت أنا والنبيين من قبلي لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الحمد له الملك وهو على كل شيء قدير. This is here the mountain of Rahmah and the post of Rahmah, or the mountain of Rahmah and the mountain of Arafah. Arafah is a huge area, by the way. Make sure you stay within the boundaries of Arafah. Because if you stay outside the boundaries of Arafah, you did not make your Hajj. So you need to stay within the boundaries, and there are signs around Arafah to show you where the Arafah is, and so you would not be sitting outside, you will be sitting inside. If you're able to make it to the post of Ar-Rahmah, alhamdulillah. If not, then any place in Arafah should be good for you to be able to worship Allah Azza wa Jal. What you need to do in Arafah? The Prophet ﷺ, you'll be praying there, by the way, Dhuhr and Asr combined and shortened, and you'll listen to the speech of Arafah, and then you'll spend the rest of the day making dua to Allah Azza wa Jal. Making ibadat, reading Quran, making istighfar, making dua. The Prophet ﷺ, especially at the end of the day, spend all his time making dua, until the sunset, and then after that, once the sunset, and this is the core of Hajj. This is basically the Hajj, Al-Hajj Arafah. So let's go inshallah quickly to the next one. Let's avoid this because of time. And now we proceed to Muzdalifah. From Arafah, remember, the mountain of Arafah, and then the next, valley is Muzdalifah. This is when you need to go to spend the night there in Muzdalifah. You pray Maghrib and Isha combined, and then you spend, the rest of the night resting for the following day full of actions. Now, those who are unable to stay for health reasons or for age reasons, because they're too old or too sick, they may leave from Muzdalifah by the midnight, after the midnight. But those who have no excuses shall stay and spend the night there. And then, in the following day, this is the post you will see, inshallah, and normally in Hajj you will see like Muzdalifah, Arafah, Mina, the huge posts, so that people will not miss them and will be able to, be guided through them. So after that, let's go to the next slide. After you finish from Muzdalifah, then you spend the night there. You get up in the morning, you pray your Fajr, and while you're staying there, you collect the stones, and so to throw the Jamarat. Let's go to the next slide. This is the size of the stone you need to collect. It's not too small, not too big. It's about the size of the chickpeas. And you collect, if you're, the number you need for your throwing the Jamarat. Let's go quickly to the next one, inshallah. In the following day, when you get up for Salat al-Fajr, you pray, and before the sun rises, you proceed to Mina. What do you need to do in Mina? And this is the first day of Eid. This is the 10th of the Hijjah, or the first day of Eid. What you need to do is to throw the Jamarat al-Aqabat al-Kubra, only one Jamarat, and then you slaughter, which will be done on your behalf nowadays, because no one slaughter by their hand, and then you shave, or you cut your hair. Once you do that, you have exited from the small state of Ihram. Khatam Qubul. And then after that, if you go, let's go to the next one. See, you go from Arafah, then you spend the night in Muzdalifah, and then you go to throw the stone, the Jamrat al-Aqaba al-Kubra, and then after that, you slaughter. It's going to be done on your behalf, and then you cut your hair. Once you do that, you're finished with what will qualify you to exit from the first state of Ihram. And then after that, you go to Tawaf al-Ifada. Now we go to the next Tawaf al-Ifada. Tawaf al-Ifada is called Tawaf al-Ziyara or al-Ifada. Ifada means fall, overflow. Because people will be coming from Mina, overflowing to the Mecca to do their Tawaf. Or called Tawaf al-Ziyara, because you are residing in Mina and they're doing Ziyara to the Haram, to Mecca. So you do your Tawaf al-Ifada. Now, if you are Mutamatti', which means you have done your Umrah and you waited until the 8th day and you did your Hajj, you started your Hajj, when you go back to the Tawaf al-Ifada, you should do the same thing as you did in Umrah. So you do your Tawaf, drink from Zamzam, you pray to Ruk'ah of the post of Ibrahim, you pray, you drink from Zamzam, and then after that you do Sa'i. Because you did not, your Tawaf and Sa'i, when you first come to Mecca, was done for Umrah. Unlike the Mufrid and the Muqrin, their Tawaf and their Sa'i is counted. So they do Tawaf al-Ifada and they don't have to do the Sa'i. But for the Mutamatti', they need to do the Tawaf and the 2 Ruk'ah and the drinking from Zamzam, and they do the Sa'i. And once they finish the Sa'i, they exit from the state of Ihram, and they are now able to go back to the normal life and go back again. After this, they finish from the Tawaf al-Ihram, from the Tawaf al-Ifada, they go back now again to Mina. Now go through this quickly, because those are the same things we have done from before. And then now go one more slide. Al-Mabit bi Mina. Sleeping in Mina is a must. So you do your Tawaf al-Ifada, you do your Sa'i, and you come back again to Mina. You have to spend the night there. So it's a wajib. And if you do not sleep in Mina, then you are expected to slaughter an animal as a compensation for that. Let's go to the next one. Yawm al-Tashriq, which is the day after Eid, is the first day of Ayyam al-Tashriq. So what you are expected to do, you throw the Jamrat al-Sughra, al-Wusta, and al-Kubra. So you throw 7 stones here, or pupils, and 7 here and 7 there. And in the first 2, you make your intensive dua to Allah Azza wa Jal. And the story of Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu, when he threw the Jamarat, and he made dua to Allah, Ya Rabbi, give me shahada in the city of your Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Those who were around him said, how could that be? You're now, the state of Islam is from coast to coast, from ocean to ocean. And he said, this is my dua and Allah will do it for me. Allah did not only honor him with shahada in the city of the Prophet, but he got it when he was in the mihrab of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So again, dua, dua, dua. So once you do, the 3 Jamarat in the first day of Tashriq, and this is done after Zawal and before the night. Even you can even do it after night, and then you spend the night in Mina, and then on the second day of Tashriq, which is the third day of Eid, will be also done the same thing that we did in the first day of Tashriq. And فَمَنْ تَعَجَّلَ فِي يَوْمَيْنِ فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ وَمَنْ تَأَخَّرَ فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ لِمَنِ اتَّقَى. If you are from those who want to go early, or those who want to stay, if you want to stay for the third day, you can stay the third day and do the same thing, throw the jamarat and do remembrance and dhikr to Allah Azza wa Jal throughout those things. Throwing the jamarat is a must, unless you're it's like someone is too sick or too old and they're unable to do it. They can designate someone to do it on their behalf. So this is basically the core actions of Hajj. So if you happen to spend 2 days and then you're finished, or 3 days and you finish, then you do tawaf al-wada', the farewell tawaf. The farewell tawaf will be the final tawaf you do before you leave Mecca. Let's say you're finished with all the actions of Hajj and you wanted to go to Medina, or you want to go home afterwards, then the last thing you do is to do tawaf, to say goodbye to the old house of Allah Azza wa Jal. And with this, your actions of Hajj will be completed. And may Allah Azza wa Jal, the Mighty, make it possible and easy for those who have already planned for Hajj. And may Allah Azza wa Jal will make it possible for all of us who did not go to Hajj to go to Hajj once or twice or more, as much as possible. Allahumma ameen. Subhan rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun, wa salamun ala al-mursalin, walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Jazakumullahu khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Sheikh, how much time you have to do tawaf around the Kaaba?
I am going to stay after Salat al-Isha because it's time for Salat al-Isha now. So, you mean what do you mean?
Around the Kaaba.
Take your time. There's no limit. As long as you do 7.
Oh, 7.
Yeah, 7 short. 7
If you
times.